Hey, this is Evan Anderson with Oseberg. Welcome to Oseberg Hacks again. I'm going to check out some AFEs. We're going to use full text search in Atla to hunt some AFEs, and I'm going to show you some unique information. So what I'm going to do here is I'm still kind of trying to learn about some of the new plays developing in the Delaware. I'm going to click on New Mexico in full text search. I'm going to leave the document type or the instrument type blank because, as you know, AFEs can be part of a communitization agreement. It can be part of a compulsory pooling. There's a number of documents that it can be included in. I'm going to just type in AFE, and I'm going to put that. Actually, let's be a little bit smarter than that. Let's look for authority for expenditure. I'm trying to talk to the computer in the way that the documents would read because that's what the computer is going to bring back to me. If AFE is used, it'll bring back AFE. You can see, for example, this document down here from July 10th of 27. You can see they actually used AFE, but you can see this one up here didn't use AFE. It used authority for expenditure. And so it's really important when you're doing searches to talk to the documents the way the documents might read. And so I felt intuitively that we would have better odds of finding AFEs if we just typed in authority for expenditure. And whether it's uppercase or lowercase, you can notice that the returns that came back to search are both uppercase and lowercase. So let's go look at some of these AFEs. Here's one. Let's pull up this one from July 13th. And, again, if we think about where these documents are coming from, you have the OCR text on the right-hand screen. This is going to be a compulsory pooling. We're going to see that it's filed by Pride Energy, and it was filed July 13th. What we're going to do is there's a couple cheat codes here. The first is using Control+F and finding the search bar and typing in AFE. And as you can see, AFE is listed 9 times in the OCR text. And we can see the first mention of it is on page 18. So this is a 32-page document. And rather than flipping through it, hoping to find it, we can go straight to page 18. And we can see that this is the well proposal that Pride Energy sent out, where it started listing your well costs and details about the well that they wanted to drill. Looks like dry hole costs were $5 million and completed costs are 9.6 in this well proposal. As we move through, here's the AFE that we were looking for. And you can see a very detailed AFE. And I love talking to engineers whenever I show them AFEs. They'll always say, those are never correct. And yes, you're right. An AFE is hardly ever actually correct. But it is a data point that you didn't have 5 seconds ago unless you have been participating in these wells. So 5.1 million for dry hole, 9.6 for completed. You're right. It may not be the number, but is it within 15% of the number? It's a data point, right? So this is a quick way to find AFEs in areas that you may not know what well costs look like using full text search. How can we use this in Atla? I'm going to switch gears to Oklahoma because I was asked to pull some AFEs in a particular play. And we're going to come over here and we're going to look at what Mewbourne is doing in Ellis and Roger Mills County. I'm going to highlight these 2 counties, and I'm going to search over the last 2 years, and I'm going to bring up my poolings. And my expectation is that we've seen some pooling activity, and I'm not wrong, I guess. Here we can see Mewbourne is colored in this kind of purple magenta. We've got Upland here in this green. And we've got some Crawley and some Kaiser and some Douglas Fairbanks. And if I throw on my 3D, what you're looking at is a 3D representation, those bars that are coming out of the ground. That's a 3D representation of 3 different data points. dry hole costs, completed costs, and your highest bonus amount in that pooling. And if you wanted to, just in case those of you are not familiar with how our product works, I can click on any one of these sections for these poolings and immediately get to the information on these poolings. You can see, for example, that on this section, section 31 of 18 North, 24 West, we see a Cherokee horizontal that's being pooled with a 180-day commencement of operations. That means that this pooling will be good for 180 days from the order date, which appears to be April 6th of 2022. And what they paid, the highest bonus is $400 an acre. Then they go down to $350 an acre. And then they go down to $100 an acre for option 3. Now, what I've never been able to understand is how do you rationalize that the difference between option 1 on option 2 is $50 an acre for what's often the case to be a 16th royalty. So a 16th royalty is $50 an acre on a well that's got a dry hole and it's got a completed cost of $7 million. So if NPV equals 0 at $7 million, meaning the well breaks even at $7 million, you mean to tell me that a 16th royalty is worth $50 an acre? Sign me up for that. Anybody that wants to sell me a 16th royalty at $50 an acre, give me a shout. I'll take your money. Or no, I happily take your royalty. Sorry, I'll pay you $100 an acre for every 16th of royalty. So, and yes, we can get to the respondents here, but this is how we quickly get to the pooling information. Let's say that we need a lot of data quickly. So, in particular, I was interested in looking at Mewbourne. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to filter by condition, and I'm going to type in Mewbourne. And so we just limited 2 years of pooling data across this AOI, which is a very large AOI covering 2 counties. This is 2 years of pooling data by Mewbourne, and I can come in here, and this is all the unit sizes, and so we can group this by unit size, which I think is important when we're looking at AFEs. And so let's look at these 1280s. We've got 98 of them. And then what we can do is come in here and we can sort by completed costs. Now, why is it that we don't have completed costs on some of these documents? Well, because some of these could be dismissed. Some of these can be applications. There's a number of reasons why we're not going to have all the data. But you'll see here that for the 1280s, we're pretty consistently, well, no, we're not consistent. It looks like it's more relative to the year. In 21, those completed costs were around 6 million. In 22, we got up to 7 million. And here we're starting to see in 23, we're starting to see 9 to 10 million for completed costs. When we look at our acreage cost on our option 1 pooling bonus, we'll look, back in 21 also, it was $300 for option 1. We see some 1,100, but 300, then 500, then 600, then 1,200, and we're back to $600 and $900 an acre for your option 1. This is all mostly for Cherokee, some Des Moines, all mostly for Cherokee. If I want to drill into any of these actual AFEs, I can very quickly go and click on one of those records, and we can easily pull up our AFE